We're going to remove the wheel. Take this hubcap off first. You're going to need a 19mm socket. Carefully remove these caps. And slide the cap off. And remove the lug nuts using the same 19mm socket. And remove the wheel. Before I take the caliper off, I just want to loosen up where the brake hose goes into the caliper. Use a 11mm socket. Just break it free and then just snug it up a little bit more just so it doesn't start leaking. That's just to make it easier once you get the caliper off. Then using a 15mm socket, take these two caliper bolts out. Take those out. Using a brake caliper hanger, I'm going to slide the whole caliper assembly off, then you can hang it from the coil spring. With the new caliper, we want to separate the bracket from the caliper. Take a 13mm socket, take these two bolts out. On the bracket, I'm just going to take a thin coat of brake caliper grease on both sides and put these pad slide clips in, and then another thin coat of grease. Now slide the bracket on. Take the bolts. And get those started. Now we'll torque these bolts to 85 foot-pounds. I'm going to take the bracket off the old one. I'm just going to use 13mm socket. Take those bolts off. Slide the bracket off. And take the brake pads off. If you have new brake pads, you don't have to do this step. Rehang the caliper. Now put the brake pads on. Slide those in position. Alright, that's good. Slide the caliper over the pads. Get the bolts started. Make sure the slides are lined up. There is a little notch on the side, so you want to make sure that it lines up with the caliper. Now torque these to 25 foot-pounds. On the new caliper, take the cap off the bleeder screw and just open the bleeder screw using a 10mm wrench. Just loosen it up. Just one turn's fine. I'm going to take the banjo bolt that comes with the caliper, take that off with the seals. These two seals are gaskets. And take the caliper off the hanger. I'm going to take this bolt out and put the new bolt in with the new seals. You might want a drain bucket underneath. You're going to lose some fluid. It's okay. And we're doing this really quickly, but it is always a good idea to make sure you have enough fluid in the brake master cylinder. Now put the banjo bolt through there. One seal on that side, one seal on the other side. And get that started in the caliper. Snug that up for a minute. Now the brake fluid started coming out of the bleeder screw, so we're just going to close that up. That's a good way to gravity bleed them first, just to get most of the air out of the system. Close that up for now. Then I want to torque this banjo bolt to 35 foot-pounds. Then with an assistant, you want to have them pump the brake pedal. Go ahead and pump the brake pedal, nice and slow. And you can see the caliper moving about 5 or 6 times. And then you want to hold it down now. Have them hold it down, and then briefly open the bleeder screw. Some of the air came out, and then close it up. And then go ahead and pump it again. And hold it. And pump it again. And hold it. That looks good. Do that about 3 times, making sure there's no air in the system. If the pedal still feels soft or there was still more air in there, repeat the process. Do it again about 3 more times. Just spray this down with some brake parts cleaner, or you can always use some soapy water. You put that cap back over the bleeder. Put the wheel back on. Lug nuts. Now I'm going to torque the lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, double check. I'll put the hubcap on. Tighten down these caps. You just want to do this by hand. Just use the socket and snug them up.